Are you looking to add more USB ports to your vehicle? Or maybe you're like me and your vehicle doesn't have any USB ports. Then the Anker 535 car charger can fix that for you, even for your fast charging devices. I'm Wanderer 001. Let's get into it. As you might imagine, this is a DC port or cigarette lighter car charger. There's not a lot to talk about because it does exactly what it says it's going to do. It adds, in this case, 3 different types of charging ports for your vehicle. You get 2 USB-Cs and 1 USB-A. The overall charger itself is 2.3 inches in length and 1.2 inches across. Around the front here, there is a blue LED light. And once we start talking about our charging ports, this is where things can get interesting. Because depending on how you're charging your devices, you can either get a maximum output of 67 watts, 67 watts, and 22.5 watts if you're charging a single item at a time. Once you start mixing and matching items, such as the 2 USB-Cs, the top one gets 45 watts and the secondary gets 20 watts. If you use the top and the bottom, you get 45 and 22.5 watts. And then if you use the middle USB-C and the bottom, you get 9 watts. If you choose to use all 3, your top USB-C port gets 45 watts, your middle gets 9 watts, and the bottom also gets 9 watts. Now that is a little confusing because you think, hey, if I'm plugging something into this, why am I not getting the full charge? Well, the way that the adaptive charge control on this device works is it will spread the charge out amongst all of your devices that are plugged into it. But if you're the only one in your car or the passenger in your car is charging, you will get the maximum output from this. That blue LED light around there does add a nice accent because the overall device itself is gray and you've got those little blue tabs in there letting you know that this is a fast charge style device. It looks kind of nice. It adds accent, as you can see here, depending on your vehicle's interior. It could be a nice splash of color for you as well. Now, I did mention the speeds that you could get out of this for your charging, but I like to test things. So let's take a look at what testing was like for this car charger. Charging test for our ports here. I'll be using this Anker power bank right here. So we're gonna come up to our top port right here, and we're gonna wait for that to pop up. All right, there you can see input is 61 and bouncing. So that is close to the top output, probably because the power bank is not actually at its lowest point, so it's not drawing the full amount. We're gonna come down to our second output right here, and that should also do 67. We'll get back up to the 60, yep, and there we go. So that's also showing that it's reading out correctly. You can see kind of on that back part there. Actually, that's reading better than this, so both of them are actually outputting the correct wattage. Take that out. Here we'll do USB-A to USB-C, plug that in, give that a moment to figure out what it's doing. All right, so this one is bouncing around 12 or 10 on my screen over here. So not quite the maximum output as stated, but this cable that I'm using might not have the capability of doing that type of draw. Still not bad. And just so we could show an example of the split, my white cable down here is not plugged into anything yet, but I plugged the black cable back into the power bank. So right there, bouncing up to the 67, but once I throw my phone on, we'll keep an eye on that one, 61, it should split it where it reduces the power. There you see, it dropped it down to 42. So there, it is splitting it. You can see on the back panel here, it is demonstrating that it is still outputting what it should be, but this device is just reading this, while this is just reading that singular port up there. So not terrible. Even if you put 2 USB-C devices in here, still get about 40, which is pretty good. As you might expect, you get pretty much what you expect from something like this, but there are a few cons that I want to mention to you. First being, if you notice the size of the head, it flares out compared to an older model, which I had, which was more streamlined. So depending on where your DC port is, this might not fit, even though it is actually fairly small. I mentioned that LED ring around the front here, and depending on where your DC port is, this could be distracting or too much light for those that are light sensitive. Just know, if you have a problem with the LED light, this might not be something you want to consider. For me, my DC port is actually in my center console, so it's out of sight, out of mind for me. It doesn't bother me that much. However, if you're looking for a way to power your device in your vehicle, this is most likely better than anything you have built into your car. Anker is a well-known brand in the charging market, so you don't need to worry about issues with their product. Because of that, I can strongly recommend the Anker 535 car charger if you need more USB ports in your vehicle that have quick charge capabilities. If this sounds like what you've been looking for, I will have a link down in the description area below where you can pick one up for yourself. If you appreciate the time and effort that goes into making in-depth videos like this, make sure to hit that like button to help other people find the video as well. If you like what I'm doing here and want to be notified of my next review, hit that subscribe button. Not sure if this is the right car charger for you? On screen now, you will see 2 other videos that YouTube thinks will help you make an informed decision for yourself.